Today we're going to talk about the new Netflix film, Wasp Network, so let's get started. Hey everybody, my name is Justin. I love to watch movies. If you guys love to watch movies too, you guys are in the right spot. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming videos. Wasp Network tells the story of Cuban spies in American territory in the 1990s. And this is based upon the book, The Last Soldiers on the Cold War. This film has a really impressive cast with Penelope Cruz, Wagner Moura, Armas, Édgar Ramírez. I just saw Édgar Ramírez in the film The Last Days of American Crime. That was really bad. But Wasp Network is much better than The Last Days of American Crime. This is based on a true story and inspired by a book. This tells the story of 5 Cuban political prisoners who have been imprisoned by the United States since the late 1990s on charges of espionage and murder. This film is over 2 hours long, and the first half of the movie does a great job of setting up our cast and their story. More so Édgar Ramírez. In the beginning, he is married to Penelope Cruz's character, and they have a daughter together. He leaves Cuba to go to Miami, and we don't know much about his story in the beginning, and he connects with other people from Cuba to start the Wasp Network. And this is a group to infiltrate an anti-Castro organization. I found Wasp Network to be really interesting in the first half of the movie, introducing our characters Édgar Ramírez. We also have Wagner Moura in the film. The film allows for them to grow through the first half of the movie and understand their situation and why they are in Miami. There's a lot of great conversations amongst our cast. There's even conversations with Star Wars in the beginning of the film, but the film does a great job of setting up our characters and their families and their hardships as well, and leading into a more dramatic and fastly paced second half of the movie, especially with the 1 hour mark in the movie, where there's some more exposition and they start to introduce more characters within the Wasp Network. There's also some heavy action scenes and there is some violence towards the end of the film. The first half of the film is much slower than the second half. I would consider the first half of the film to be a slow burn, but it's still really interesting. The dialogue is really gripping. It's really fresh and allowing for the characters to grow. Then the second half of the film, we have the setup for Wasp Network, and there we get some of the things that they are planning and executing as well, and introducing some more characters within the Wasp Network. I found that aspect of the film to be really interesting as well, watching how it was all set up and how it all played out as well. And then we have the end of the film where you kind of tell like the story of all the characters and what they're doing now, what happened to them in the future, because this is based on a true story. So I really like the setup for it. I feel like the 2 hour runtime definitely felt justified because of the character situations in the beginning and the setup, and then the end with some of the action scenes and the Wasp Network as well. The film looks great. It's shot well. There's some stunning locations within here, and the cast is great as well. Like I said, it's a really, really good cast. Armas has been in so much lately. Blade Runner 2049, she was in Knives Out. She was also in War Dogs. She's also going to be in so many films coming out later this year. But she is great within the movie. Very short performance, and she is connected to Wagner Moura's character, who I just saw in Sergio. So a lot of these actors and actresses are at the top of their game right now. Penelope Cruz was really great in the movie. She had some more dramatic performances because she is dealing with the hardships of Édgar Ramírez leaving her and her daughter to go to Miami, but we start to learn a little more about their situation throughout the film. So the cast is top notch in here. A lot of good performances. When it requires for them to be dramatic, they are there to deliver those performances. And then when the film is more quickly paced, the actors can catch up with those moments. Overall, Wasp Network was a really interesting film. It had a really good setup, and then about 1 hour mark into the movie, it became a more quickly paced film. Introducing Wasp Network and having some exposition, kind of telling you this is Wasp Network, these are these people, these are these people, this is what we plan to do. There's a narrator about 1 hour mark into the movie, and I think that Kind of gave us some information if you were kind of confused with the first half of the movie. They kind of caught you up to speed what was happening within like the second half of the movie. But it is a gripping film. There is a scene with a young man putting bombs in different places. And I found that scene to be really gripping and intense, and watching it just kind of play out. Moments like that definitely added to the more dramatic parts of the movie. I highly recommend checking out Wasp Network. It has a lower Rotten Tomatoes score, but I think it was a really interesting film filled with really good performances. Beautifully shot film as well, and also gripping at times. Also a little bit of a slow burn, but I definitely like some of the character growth and development for them as well. I'm going to go ahead and give Wasp Network a B+. Thank you guys for my review for Wasp Network. Check it out on Netflix when it comes available. Stay tuned for more up-and-coming Netflix content. My name is Just Watch Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.